Just like that, another one bites the dust. We called it, didn't we? We called it.
I feel relieved. Like a weight is off my shoulders.
Hi guys, welcome back. We're gonna go ahead and go over episode 11 now. First, go ahead and like the video, and then once you've watched it and you see that everything's great here, go ahead and subscribe, hype it up, share, do whatever you gotta do. But let's get into this episode 11 reaction. So episode starts off, they're just showing a little couple, a little recap. You've got Allie and Anton doing a little snowboarding, practicing. You've got Joe and Meg, they're going to a psychic. That was random. Wasn't that super random? And then of course, Edmund is rubbing KB's feet. Who would have known? Who would have known? And then you get to Joe and Madison. In the last episode, we were talking about if they were going to break up, if Joe leaving meant that they were going to break up, which definitely would make sense, because if you're going to walk out on your tux fitting or your dress fitting, then you probably don't really want to be married, right? So yeah, he meant it. They cut to him and Madison in their apartment. And she's like, Joe left, and he kind of walks in and she gets off the phone and they start talking, and he tells her that he doesn't want to do this anymore.
I couldn't, I had just a rough time at the tux fitting. That was the breaking point. I just wanted to follow and keep going, and as long as I could, but I feel like I've come to the point where I know.
It's fucking so crazy going from trying on wedding dresses and then you breaking up with me.
She's crying. Joe does not care. He doesn't give no fucks. He said he had a breakdown. I think that breakdown gave him the clarity that he needed to go ahead and do this. America knew that this was going to happen. We just didn't know when it was going to happen, but we knew it was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen like this. I thought it was going to happen at the altar. I honestly thought, because they kind of played into that. You saw little clips and it looked like she was at the altar and he was not getting out of the car. Joe is super cold. He's not caring. She's like, is it somebody else? She's thinking that. And he's like, no, it's not that. And she's like, well, imagine us not snuggling, kissing, sleeping together. How would you feel seeing me with somebody else? He don't give a fuck.
You're okay with the idea of me being with somebody else?
It's not a thought that you would like to think about.
He's probably like, thank you for taking her off my hands. But he don't care. He don't care at all. And she's like, but why? Just tell me why. Like, what's the reason? He is so checked out. He can't even give it's not you, it's me. He can't even give her that. He can't give her anything except this ain't working out.
Do you think that if we had just met in the real world and were able to date, do you think that would have worked?
It's not the timeline. I feel like we probably made it a lot farther in this than we would have in real life.
Why?
I don't think we should keep dragging it on if I know it's not. I know you're not the one.
It's you. That's what he really wanted to say. I guess he spared her with that, but he never liked her. He never liked her. Obviously he never loved her, but I don't even think he liked her a little bit. He was all in it for the show. His parents liked her, so that gave him a little bit more push to go further, but he never liked this woman. She's not even his type. And the personality, I guess, love is not blind, is what I'm trying to say. The personalities never clicked. He doesn't like to look at her visually, so it just was never going to work. And it is what it is. Sorry, Madison. When she watches this show back, I know she's going to be heartbroken because Joe never liked you. Then they cut to Joe, doing his little confessional talk, whatever you call it, and he is so relieved. He even says, I'm relieved.
I feel relieved. Like a weight is off my shoulders.
He feels so much better that he got that over with and he can just go live his life. He's not going to be thinking about this woman tonight. He's going to be at the bar somewhere having a great time, and she's heartbroken. She even said seeing him with somebody else is going to be heartbreaking. So I hope that, she can get the clarity that she needs, that he was never, I don't know, I hope she gets it sooner than later, not all the way to the reunion. Sorry, girl. Let's move on. And you got Edmund and KB. They have a little argument. It's not on camera though, so it's kind of like the last time when they had a blow up at the little party, and we're wondering why was KB so upset. Well, she was upset about something that happened earlier that day. So they're in the snow, sledding, whatever it's, I don't know if that's what it's called. They're in the snow sledding, and they get to a little cabin or a little station. I don't know what it was, but I know there was hot chocolate in there. Probably was like a restroom coffee bar, who knows. And KB's very annoyed with Edmund, you can already tell. And she sits down and she goes right in. They start talking. He's not willing to admit his mistakes from earlier. He's stubborn. That's one thing I see about Edmund. When he makes a mistake, he don't want to admit it and apologize. And if he's not sorry at that right then, he's not going to apologize. He's like, no. He's like a child.
Getting mad at me for not saying sorry for something I'm not sorry about.
No, I got
do
mad at
nothing
you.
wrong.
No, I got mad at you for not taking ownership of
I
that
didn't do
behavior.
nothing wrong.
Okay.
KB makes the statement that we've all been noticing, that, you know, he's different on camera, or he's different at different times. And they got on camera and he got, you know, perfectly happy.
And then you get on the bike and cameras come out and you act like none of that shit happened. All cheesy. Oh, babe, come here, let's take a picture. You're not the same person on camera. You're not.
There's nothing wrong with that. As soon as the camera comes on, if you are having a bad day, you should, you know, be into it. But the fact that he couldn't apologize for what he did earlier to start the problems was the problem. So KB mentioned that, and he's still just, he's not feeling it. He thinks that he was right in that situation. And I think in that moment, KB is done.
I know. You see how
cut
you
me
do
off
it?
all the time, though.
Okay.
You
Bruh,
cut me
stop
off
fucking
way.
talking to me, bitch, because you're not letting me talk.
At that moment, I'm like, it's not gonna happen. They're doing another bait and switch like they did Joe and Madison, had us thinking they went to the altar and they really didn't. So I don't know. So we're gonna continue watching. And Anton meets Allie's mom, and you know, they have some deep conversations and everything goes good with that. She seems to really like Anton. She even made some comments about Allie not cleaning up, or, you know, in a marriage, you got to have compromise and you got to clean and stuff like that. So you can tell, because her mom seems kind of old school. As she said, her mom was the one doing everything for her when she was in school. So her mom's probably like a really good homemaker. And she's hoping that she's instilled that into her daughter.
What you have to do, go to wash dishes or clothes or clean the house, you know?
I love you.
We disagree a little bit on this.
I love you.
It's okay.
We all know she hasn't, but hopefully once she gets married, that spirit kicks in and she starts to clean up after herself. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Jordan and Madison. So far they've been my number one couple. They've been doing so good. And they're trying on hats and everything seems great. And they start talking and he says, tell him something that she loves about him and then doesn't like about him. So they go into that. Before that, they're talking about Luca and everything's great in the world. At this point, she's met him. And then one of her things she doesn't like is how he doesn't talk a lot. Like, she feeds off of his energy. And I totally get that, because I'm that type of person. I definitely feed off energy. And I so wish I wasn't like that sometimes in some situations, because, like, if you don't talk, I'm not talking. You know what I mean? And that's really what she said. She said, and that bothers her. You know, but when he comes home from work and he doesn't include her, he shuts her out. He doesn't want to talk about work. So they kind of talk about that, and he's kind of like, oh, okay, you know, that's how I am. I get it though. And, you know, they kind of move on.
I feed off of your energy a lot. And like, if you're quiet and not super talkative, like, then I'm not going to be.
Does that bother you?
But then later in the show, they're having the conversation again, because I'm assuming he just got off work and and she's thinking in her head, like, we just had this conversation yesterday or earlier today, or, you know, whatever. And you're doing it again. I'm talking to you, you're scrolling on your phone, you got one word answers, like, what's up? I don't like that.
I mean, sure, we've been doing things, but the conversation has been like next to nothing. I'm telling you to give me more.
I know, but I feel like you do it in like an abrasive fashion. Like, I feel like you're telling me I'm not allowed to be tired. Like you said.
I'm not saying that, Jordan.
You said, I don't like how you always say you're tired.
And he comes back at her like, well, you know, I'm sorry, my job is demanding. you play tennis all day, so you don't get it.
A demanding job. The last thing I want to do after a long day is have an abrasive conversation. Feel like you're not appreciating me.
I hear you.
I don't think you do hear me, though. That's the problem.
He even offered her a job at some point, but I get what he's saying though. I get what he's saying and I get what she's saying, because in his mind, he's like, girl, I just can't. I give all day. He said he talks all day. He's working 10-hour days. I give all day. I don't really have it to give when I come home. I don't always want to talk. And in her mind, she's like, dude, we just had this conversation. I just told you this was a problem for me and you come home and do it again. So that's where they're going to butt heads. They got to communicate, which they did. They kept it going and they started to communicate some more. He kind of opened up a little bit more and it seems like she accepted it.
Having fun, but I also love just laying in bed and watching a movie too. Going to sleep early.
I don't know.
Guys that were like crazy rich business guys who you probably did all those things with never worked out. That's why you picked me.
I don't know. She was kind of looking kind of, I think it's he kind of has a complex. But she has all this money and he doesn't, and he has to work hard. So in his mind, he doesn't want to be a burden. He has a lot. There's a lot he's going to have to get over. And it would be easier if they known each other for a long time. But the fact that they just met and he's got all of these thoughts, it's going to be harder for him. I really think so. He's a low-key guy. He just takes care of his son, goes to work, doesn't, go out much. He's not climbing Mount Everest, playing tennis this day, going out with his friends this day. He's not doing all that. He's not in Italy. And he told her, like, how are you going to be able to handle that? Because going to Italy with a 5-year-old is not fun. I disagree with that because I am a mother myself and I traveled with my kids and I traveled without them, and I like both ways, but I guess everybody's different. I don't mind, but I get what he was saying though. I definitely get what he was saying. You're not just going to be able to jump up at the drop of a dime, even when you have your own kids, not just Luca. He's like, when you become a mom, life's going to be different. Are you ready for that? I think that he's all in. He was kind of seeming like unsure at that point, but I think he's all in, but he's, got to make sure he's got to question her and make sure that she's ready to be in a life, that she's aware that her life is about to change with him and it's going to change pretty drastically. And he wants to make sure that she knows that. So I think that's why we kind of got that pushback from Jordan today. And it's not because he don't love her. It's not because he doesn't want to be married like the other guys. It's because he just wants to make sure she's fully aware that she's making the right decision for herself. And I get it. Now let's get back to Edmond. So now Edmond, he's fully ready to admit what he did wrong and give KB what she needs and reassure her, and she is falling for it.
These are for you, and I'm not speaking from the heart right now, but I'm sorry for ignoring you and like yesterday in the car and stuff, like when you're talking to me, and I would just I'd like to talk to me instead and not listen to you, straight up ignoring you. And knows the reasons why you can be done with me. And I just want to make up for it.
We make jokes, because I've seen some other commentary. People make jokes and stuff like, KB don't really like Edmond, how could she? But for her to fold as quick as she did, there's some love there. There's something there, because girl, he's like, oh, I'm sorry for what I did. Just when you was on the mountain, and these days aren't far apart. It had to be the day before or the same day. They're only together for a certain amount of time. And just when you was on the mountain, you was talking shit. Now all of a sudden, you've had this huge change of heart. You're telling me everything I want to hear. It's bullshit is what it is. KB fell for it like that. She's like, that's what I want to hear. And she's ready. She's all in again.
She did just give me hope with the apology and the flowers. That was a man that just walked in here and did that. You ain't sit down on the couch. You ain't sit down right here and get on your phone. You ain't sit down and just act like we're not beefing. You know, you came in here and you went straight to business. That's what I like.
So I think she really likes Edmund. I don't care. Can nobody tell me different after that? After I saw that scene, I'm like, she loved that man. Whether they're gonna make it, I don't know. I'm not making my prediction on that yet. But yeah, I was like, girl, that's all it took? Okay. Well, you must have not been that mad. She said she was ready to throw the ring, but if you were just ready to throw the ring a few hours ago or 24 hours ago, that's what it took to get you back? Okay. All right, girl. We see you. That's your man. That's your man. You love him. And ain't nothing wrong with it. And Anton, they're kind of talking and they're both giving each other some really good confirmation that they really want to do this. They're ready. They want to get married and everything seems great in the world with those two.
There's really not much you can do at that point.
Yeah.
As long as neither one of you gives up and both of you want it just as bad, there's nothing you can't overcome.
Question, do you guys think she's really still into Anton? Let me know down below. There was no talk about alcohol in this episode. Anton's probably been on his best behavior since last episode because there's been no talk about champagne, beer, shots, any of the above. Honestly, of course, there was little clips here and there. I think we had Edmund and KB. They were skating and it was super cute. But when they were in the scene where they were both, when he was apologizing, they were confirming to each other that they both were all in and they were ready to do this. But other than that, there wasn't much to the episode. This episode was kind of like one of those filler episodes besides the breakup of Joe and Madison, which is good because I like these videos to be shorter, not longer. So that's perfect. So we are done for now. We've done all the way up until episode 10 and there's no more episodes until next week. So I'll definitely be back with my reviews and my predictions. I'm gonna put out some community posts more with different prediction stuff. So look out for that. And don't forget, you liked the video in the beginning. Now go ahead and subscribe, share it with your friends and hype it up and whatever else buttons they got going on down there. See you in the next video. Bye.